The newest episode of The Walking Dead, Swear, Season 7, Episode 6, had a lot going for it, and it actually overcame a lot of what I would have thought would have made it uninteresting. Previously in this show, I hadn't really cared about Tara, and I hadn't seen Heath enough to even care about him. But this episode, we see them sort of what they've been doing for a few months, scavenging. They have no idea what happened with the Saviors, and they're sort of on their own, and are scavenging, and they get split up. And there's this awesome scene in the bridge where they accidentally release a ton of these walkers from a giant sand pile. And that's one thing that this episode, Swear, does really good. It shows walker action. Like I had said, I previously criticized episodes in Season 7 for not having enough walker action, but as far as that front, this episode doesn't disappoint. But they get separated, and Tara meets this group of Amazonian-like women who are hoarding guns and whose husbands were killed by the Saviors, and and their rule is they kill all outsiders, and she sort of has conversations with them, gets accepted in, and then she believes that she's going to be leaving, that their main leader, Kathy, will just let her leave. But actually, they take her to the woods and try to kill her. She runs away, and her and this character named Sydney, who we actually figured out cares about Tara and is different than most of the crew, helps her escape, and we get this awesome bridge fight scene with all the sandwalkers and Sydney and Tara. And we still don't know where Heath is by the end of the episode, but that's left to mystery. But that's another plot thread that I'm sure they will pull later on. But as far as this episode just being entertaining, it really was in a lot of ways. You know, a lot of people have been complaining that there wasn't enough action, and there was plenty of walker action. And I think this episode did wonders for Tara as a character. I didn't really care about her before this episode, and I think having her have this debut coming back was great. And what I meant earlier when I said a lot of what's making this season that's been weighing down this season as far as world building, it actually benefited this episode because it was cool seeing this new group of survivors that was all women, and it could have been a boring plot, but they made it interesting when they made the group of survivors try to kill Tara instead of actually help her back to Alexandria. So this episode had very entertaining moments like the walker on the bridge, but also had some lackluster moments like time Tara was at the community. Besides the action-filled moments, it was sort of bland. Especially there's this one scene before a commercial break in which it's just them talking at the dinner table, and while the conversation was cool and all, it wasn't very, entertaining. I'm glad they moved her back to Alexandria quickly by the end of the episode, or else they could have ended up dragging on the plot way too long. So overall, it was a fun episode. There's a lot of action. The bridge walkers were sweet. The sand walkers, of course, were sweet. And the whole trouble Tara got into with this group at Oceanside was sweet. So I had to give this episode about an 8.3 out of 10.